We got a couple of season 2 teasers for Netflix's The Witcher, so I'm gonna do what any person that has a super fulfilling, rich life would do. Take about 20 seconds of a teaser video and turn it into a video that's, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes? Okay, let's start with the Geralt teaser. So first we see Geralt walking down a dark hallway. He has his sword out, so obviously he's facing some kind of danger. You'll also notice that he has the bandage around his leg. He had this bandage around his leg from an injury at the end of season 1, so this scene could be taking place shortly after he meets Ciri. Witchers heal pretty fast, so if he still has this injury and he's still walking a little stiffly, it could mean that this is maybe a few days afterwards, and I would assume this is during their journey through forest woods to get to Kaer Morhen, Geralt's old Witcher school. I'd also guess that this scene is from them adapting A Grain of Truth, which you can find in the Witcher prequel book, The Last Wish. I actually covered all the chapters in The Last Wish. They are up on Rawrist.com under the Patreon tab for people that support me on Patreon, and if you need help doing that, I have posts on Patreon that explain it. So I would really go and read that chapter and then go through my breakdown, because we're definitely going to see that short story or flashback story in season 2 of The Witcher. Next, we see Geralt and Ciri walking through a courtyard, most likely a keep, a castle, and we actually see them through what looks like the rib cage of a skeleton. Given the snow and bones, I'm assuming this is them arriving at Kaer Morhen, Geralt's old Witcher school. We know in the books that they end up wintering at the keep, and also that they never buried all the skeletons around Kaer Morhen as a constant reminder, something that really disturbs Ciri, and you can actually see in this teaser she's a bit like, so this makes sense that we're actually seeing Kaer Morhen. Next, there's a shot of a man in chains. The best guess, given that it looks like the underclothing of under Nilfgaardian armor, is that it may be Cahir. We know that he is taken captive after the Battle of Sodden Hill, the failed Battle of Sodden Hill, so him being in chains isn't a surprise. The next scene is Geralt outside, standing in the snow. We see actually a lot of little tiny flashes of Geralt in the woods. It's snowing, he has his sword out. Roach is in the background of this particular scene, and so help me God, if this is where Roach dies, I'm gonna die a little bit inside. But also, you know, Geralt goes through a lot of horses. Dangerous line of work. Plus, the first season spanned a lot of decades, so if you think that was the same horse every single time, bless your heart. So all these flashes to Geralt in the woods and also Ciri in the woods could be them encountering monsters or people, sometimes the same thing, as they're traveling through woods and such to get to Kaer Morhen. This next shot actually looks like a continuation of him walking through the dark hallway we saw in the first shot of this teaser. Kind of weird that they never give him the proper pupils that he should have while going through the dark, but it's fine. I mean, rarely do shows get eyes right. They're pretty hard to do. This looks straight out of a horror scene. So a lantern is dropped. We see a man running in the background. So this could be an attack by maybe elves, because elves are going to be a huge problem in season 2. Rightfully so. Humans have been fucking them over for quite a while. Or this could just be a random monster attacking and something that Geralt has to deal with. Here, someone else is holding Geralt's Witcher medallion. It's kind of hard to tell if it's male or female, but given the sleeve and the coloration of it, and the fact that we see Ciri wearing a similar colored and designed sleeve later on in this teaser, I'm guessing it's Ciri holding his medallion. We also know that Geralt has given his medallion to people before when he's trying to figure out if they are a magical creature or not, or a danger to him. So he could be giving it to anyone to hold to see. Okay, this next scene is really, really racy. I just want to warn some of you because I know a lot of people have meltdowns over my cleavage. So, if you're easily offended by women and, you know, seeing their skin, just close your eyes for about 20 seconds, okay? Okay. We see a naked lady's leg stepping out of a bath, and there's bubbles running down it. And I'd say this is from a a sexy woman, because it's a sexy woman's leg, and I'm an expert on such things. This could be Yennefer. She does love her baths. It could be Ciri. She probably really needs a bath after traveling so long after the fall of Sintra and not being able to properly scrub down. But if we take anything from this scene, it just lets us know that we are going to get more bath scenes, which I am just so excited for. And for the people that, are going to be offended by it, again, you can just close your eyes. It'll be all right. This is a sword being sharpened, kind of obvious. It's not a Witcher silver sword. It doesn't have the runes on it. So it could still be a Witcher sword, just maybe an iron sword that they carry with them. But I'm guessing a lot of people are going to be sharpening their swords in season 2. There's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of dangers in general without even wars and stuff starting, so this could be anything. This lantern is creating creepy silhouettes of 2 people dancing, a man and woman, and I am not liking it. Later on, we learn that they're little dolls. I think it's in Ciri's teaser, so they're just little wooden figures, and it's being projected onto the wall. Still kind of creepy. These blue flowers are interesting because they could be the show's version of a certain flower that only grows in certain locations or where elder blood is spilled. We see drops of blood in the snow, so it could be that maybe Ciri's blood was spilled or someone else with elder blood was spilled and the flowers are growing. Not really related, but I'm hoping we see Nivellen's special flowers when Geralt confronts him. I doubt this is Jaskier's lute, so if you saw this and you were freaking out and going, oh my god, Jaskier's dead, or he abandoned his lute or whatever, it's probably just a random musical instrument maybe found in Nivellen's castle that Geralt is exploring. It does, if you look at the pattern of the jacket, does look like Geralt, but it's very dark. Geralt is engaging in close combat in this scene. If I were to guess, I would say a monster that he needs to get close to because being further back or range attacks are better for the monster than it is for him. Based on clothing and weaponry, I'm guessing this is Kaer Morhen. We're seeing some of the new Witchers that we are going to see in season 2, including a brand new Witcher, which I'm not super excited with because of something that happens. From the top, we see a woman sitting on a throne. From just the top of her head, it looks like Yennefer, but we have a couple black-haired beauties in season 2, so it could be someone else. I doubt it's a queen or anything, because that's a really sad throne. The bald man on the edge of the room is most likely our spy master, which we are being introduced to this season. This scene I find interesting. It's a hand reaching out to fire, and it's causing the fire to become more intense. We know in the books that Ciri is shown an example of using signs, and by making a fire more intense, that's one of her lessons. So it could be that a Witcher doing it at Kaer Morhen, or it could be Nivellen showing that, oh hey, I control every single thing in this house after my curse, and ooh, look, I can make the fire brighter. Geralt is fighting back to back with someone. I would say it's another Witcher. It looks like they're in Kaer Morhen, so something bad happens at Kaer Morhen. Oh hey, look, it's Triss being a predator and forcing herself on Geralt even after he said no. And I'm sure, because this has been in my comment section before, someone's gonna go, oh no, that's fine. I've met plenty of women that do that. That's all right. Because sexual harassment from women is cool. Triss does end up at Kaer Morhen to help Geralt with Ciri and her abilities. So I'm kind of wondering, given that we didn't show a sexual relationship between Triss and Geralt in season 1, if the sexual relationship happens at Kaer Morhen, they have a moment, Geralt regrets it and goes, hey, I don't want to do this anymore, but unfortunately Triss can't let it go, and she becomes the psycho predator we see in the books. Witcher medallions are hanging in Kaer Morhen. It's not, anything super ominous like someone's collecting them, though you will meet a character eventually that does collect Witcher medallions. It looks like Geralt is talking to Vesemir, who is a Witcher and a father figure to him. Now these fuckers, we saw them before in the Monster Mash thing for The Witcher way back last year. I say way back. Well, yeah, no, we're halfway through the year. I can say way back last year. So I'm guessing these are the crones, and maybe they're luring Ciri away or got her away somehow, because we do see a lot of panicked Geralt flashes in the woods and with his sword out, so maybe he's trying to find her, and Ciri is, being deceived. I think Țîri standing by this tree and looking really freaked out maybe is when that happens. We see her look up, so maybe something got the jump on her. Here, Țîri is in the white outfit that she arrives at Ḳār Morhen wearing. She looks to be in the armory of Ḳār Morhen. She's looking around at a lot of swords with their inscriptions, their, magical inscriptions, runes. Also, you may notice that we get a sneak peek of these swords in the earlier promo, and they're actually in the background of the shot. I thought that was really cool. Here, Țîri has tears in her eyes, and then we go to a red-tinted vision or dream, since that usually is how they show Țîri having a nightmare or a vision. I'm guessing she's woken up from that nightmare and she's reliving some bad things that happened at Cintra and with the sack of Cintra, fall of Cintra. Geralt gets really pissed off about this, so I'm going to love if this is a father-daughter-ish sort of moment. Now, to go back to Țîri standing against the tree and saying maybe that's when she's being attacked by monsters or the crones or whatever. Here we obviously see her at Ḳār Morhen and she's doing the Witcher obstacle course, which is called the Killer, because it's just so much fun. This is a continuation of her running the obstacle course, and it looks like she is encountering someone. I'm going to guess this is when Triss and Țîri meet each other. I honestly think this scene is Țîri coming to a very important location for the elves and something they left in ruins after they left. It is a very important spot historically for elves, so I'm kind of excited to see Țîri going there and the lessons that people that haven't read the books get to learn about, the history lessons in this season. Because we're definitely focusing a lot more on elves in season 2, which makes sense because elves and their dissatisfaction with humans becomes a big deal. Țîri's touching more tools, I'm assuming, at the Witcher Keep. It seems like she's doing a lot of exploring, which makes sense. She wants to kind of figure out what's going on and who these people exactly are. This guy got fucked up. Like, he had a really, really, really bad day. And if this is a beloved character, well, beloved for me, I'm gonna be super sad. Also, if you enjoy brutal killing, season 2 is going to be the thing for you. There's going to be a lot of intense fights and monsters. We get some more shots of Țîri training. Her training at Ḳār Morhen is a very big deal. It's something that kind of gives her the abilities to defend herself in later events without going too spoilery. This shot right here is for all the people that were bitching nonstop about the Nilfgaardian armor in season 1. Now, they are going to have the garbage bag looking armor, as people call it, in the beginning of season 2, but they're going to transition to this armor. And we've been told that their armor is going to be upgraded and advanced as the seasons go on. So even if you don't like this new armor, it'll change for season 3, so don't worry. I didn't really mind the Nilfgaardian armor in season 1, but I heard from enough of you that, yeah, you thought it sucked hardcore, so if it makes you guys happier, it makes me happier. As long as what makes you happy isn't like maiming and killing and shit. That's, kind of not okay. The last shot we see Țîri at Ḳār Morhen. She's looking out, probably at more training tools. It's kind of weird. I saved this for the last part because I know this is going to sound kind of off. Țîri looks so much older here than she did at the end of season 1. And I understand it's just the age of Țîri's actress and Freya aging how she did, but it's, wow, she doesn't look like a little kid anymore at all. And I don't know if they're going to address that and make the time a little bit more exaggerated to explain it. Like perhaps Geralt took a lot longer to get to Ḳār Morhen, or some things happened, because the age difference is very intense. And unfortunately, sometimes you can get away with that with actors where they age up a couple years and you're like, all right, it's fine. But she definitely matured quite a bit, to not say it in a crude way. I'll leave that for the rest of the internet. Now, as of making this video, they haven't released the Yennefer teaser yet. By the time I edit this and release it, they may have. So unfortunately, I'm probably going to do the Yennefer teaser separate from this video. I'm really sorry. I just was too excited to talk about these Witcher teasers, and I couldn't wait. I kept trying to push it off, and finally I broke. So that was my completely healthy in every single way breakdown of the Witcher Season 2 teasers. You can let me know what you thought of the the images, whether you agree or disagree with certain parts, what your thoughts, theories, predictions are. Like, subscribe, and seriously, let me know in the comment section down below, because if you just want to talk Witcher all day with me, I'm cool with that.